Hey, it's a really good observation, honestly, here. But while we take a look at Guild, our team that just won on Broken Moon, they needed this. A little bit of room to breathe, but also something to kickstart the rest of the night, the rest of the journey for their competitive debate here, because they didn't have the strongest start. But now coming off of this, you know, maybe seeing they have the ring console.
So Guild Esports, one of the teams who haven't changed their composition the entire day. Doesn't matter what map we play, they have played Bangalore, Pathfinder, Watson. They reveal the next ring, and it will be going down by the looks of it to Tree. Interesting, fun, little something different. Now, a couple of teams have switched it up, of course, going back over here. I am surprised by the amount of Bloodhound we're seeing.
Made it to the next level.
You know, the ultimate, now that they've made the change that you don't get threat vision through Bangalore smokes, and despite Bangalore being at a 100% pick rate, you can see on the map stream here on the left panel, every single team has that Bangalore in position. Now, that's why, you know, in previous metas, Bang was paired with that. We saw an almost 100% pick rate for Bang because you could see through it, and it just enabled one player on your team to be doing damage at all times, no matter what. That is no longer the case.
So it's so strong to be able to see the Seer, going to be able to get all the information that you need, especially early on. But look how many squads have actually been able to get that early rotate here. I love the side-by-side. Zone is shrinking indeed, and with those 30 seconds before that zone shrinks, it does reveal the Evil Harvesters, which is why you're seeing already 3 teams here by Tree. They already made that rotate. Disguise obviously landing by Thermal, so they're going to take their time before they get that ring console. Crazy Raccoon, their POI is Tree. And Fennel, another team now, off of Evac Tower, have already started their rotate.
As you said, Guild with a big jump up in Evo. Sorry, not Evo. Well, they just got some Evo from the Assault bin, a big jump up in points after their win previously. And yeah, they're moving through, coming through the choke outside of Geyser, but I mean, it's not going to be a priority rotate by any means for them, Vicky. Southern Zone, not so great for Overlook. They're really hoping for more of those repeat Skyhook zones, some of those Epi zones, Overlook zones, which there were a lot of. But, you know, with the changes to the ring prediction where it, you know, will shift to one quadrant of the map over another, it does seem to have helped out some of that
oh man,
repeat zones we were having.
Calling him out though, and having to pop the Seer ult. It's the fight for the survey beacon, but look to your 6 enemies. Having to be careful now, forcibly playing off the low ground, and they get the res on the other side, and they're playing off the gen here too. So they're passively healing up. Can Disguise get away? They send out that Thermite, trying to get that finishing blow. The portal, I'm not even sure if you currently see Design really take advantage of it. It didn't look like it. It looked like he just queued away. But in this case here, they still were able to get that finisher.
Oh, they try and make it to the other building. And it looks like the other two will do that, but tail between their legs. They've lost a member, and I don't know if they will be able to get him back.
Interesting here with Fennel having to play inside of this building. This is a team that is sitting in dead last genome. Time is of the essence for a team like this, so maybe playing a lot more passively, safe, not trying to overextend, which also calls into question Disguised. Are they going to try to overextend themselves to try to get that banner going? You can see him already popping that ultimate accelerant. He has another one at his feet ready to go, ready to pop in with that portal. Trying to close in the distance here, but while they're trying to fight this in the distance, you already see somebody else by that choke. Design falls back, takes that portal. Overextending!
Yeah, they follow it.
Oh, but they get the knock onto Design. Disguised, eliminated Fennel. They needed this. This jumps them up into 18th, but this is also the double whammy when it comes to the Wraith genome.
Who's your worst enemy? Doors, apparently. I mean, if you want a reason why you don't pick Wraith, I mean, there's one of them.
Imagine like trying to preemptively open the door before you commit to the portal there, I guess, there too. But it's just, it's so difficult also making that decision when there's so many other teams in the area. I mentioned a squad by that choke. It was Crazy Raccoon by Tree that are actually hugging that southern side of the tree zone that Fennel will eventually probably climb the rocks towards as we take a look at even more teams. Basically everybody but Falcons, Aurora, and Red Rams, as well as Icholos, have put themselves in this next circle.
So Twisted Minds, as we saw there, lost a member. Starting out in Landslide. A POI that got a lot better after the introduction of the new Evos and upgrade system. Without having to rely on, you know, initial armor upgrades, the centrality of that POI and the ability to rotate out of it quickly. It's a big upgrade. And it was an upgrade for a team like Twisted Minds who liked playing out of there, who, you know, liked the fast rotate flexibility of that POI, but unfortunately, they do lose a member at the start of Game 7.
And this is one of those circles that there's so many teams that you could coexist. We usually highlight that with Skyhook, but specifically Tree, it's not like the same typical you're inside of the same building, although these buildings do provide some of that extra space, but a lot of people could also play off the low ground, after the natural terrain, the rocks by the tracks as well. So many different angles that you could play off of the natural terrain here that you keep other squads in your line of sight without really putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
This spot is only good for Watson teams.
Yeah.
Please don't try and play it if you don't have a pylon. You will get destroyed, but it does mean that if you're a team that's rotating in a little bit later, which Guild did in match 7 here, and you're a Watson team, you know, maybe you get the chance to take that over when the other teams can't. And there's, you know, it's roughly about a 50% pick rate in this lobby on the Watson, so nice little pick up there.
Respawn beacon right here.
Ping on the Moby.
Did he just leave that ultimate accelerant behind?
Did.
I hope not.
Different priority.
I hope not, because I know some people on Reddit are going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's got the priority with the 12 shield cells. I think he's got enough out here. But looking to maybe see if he's got better attachments to work with on the Havoc. Looks like he's only got the blue stock on board. But double red, purple expected from Team Falcons as they are playing on the edge of the circle.
You can see this is one of the most diverse Legend metas we have seen in top-level Apex Legends esports. It's awesome. Look at this. You know, comps at 5%, 10% across the board. It's just awesome to see. I mean, yeah, so the top composition there, I think, is 20% there with Bang, Seer, and Watson. That's beautiful. That's a healthy meta, Vicky. I love this.
I do. I like it too, because then on the other half, you have the Fuse, right? So then you have to consider what the Watson provides as a counter with the Gen, and then the Knuckle clusters and what Fuse provides with the Mother Load and information. You got the double whammy, actually, on the information when you have the Seer included in the comp, and then you could go for something more comfortable if you like the Bloodhound instead of the Seer, like you highlighted at the very beginning of this game.
Yeah, the Bloodhound scan is still very good. It's a lot more reliable than something like the Focus of Attention coming out on the Seer tactical, but the ultimate is greatly reduced in utility, unfortunately. So, interesting. It has surprised me to see as much Bloodhound as we've had so far today.
That was unfortunate. Just the Seer ult just being poked out through the window from the inside of the cart here too. Well, then you have another Seer ult from the low ground, KCP, fighting for their life, but their Gen is not safe either. Nice shots with the Hemlock. Gonna be able to back away though. Not gonna give up this space for now. This is the high ground on the train tracks that I had noted when you see a lot of teams trying to coexist. Obviously a squad playing right below them, but eventually they will have to move with the circle pulling down to the south.
Well, I was just about to say, sometimes we do get the finishes on the train tracks, right? So we're seeing a big split in terms of where the teams are playing right now. Some are like GG and like FaZe are up towards that northern side near the train tracks and around Lava Siphon, while you've got quite a few teams down in Tree as well. So, I mean, yeah, we'll get that answer in 20 seconds about whether it starts shifting one way or the other. Honestly, could go in the middle as well. So, yeah, the team's honestly just playing a bit of a guessing game at this point.
You could also take a safe approach here too, where if you are going to wait on the safer side, like you see from Falcons actually, from Thermal Station, even with Aurora coming in behind them, we know that they have an evac tower, Strafing Flame, fighting for his life. The fact that Twisted Minds is getting focused in an area like this, I mean, there's a lot of different openings that a lot of squads could have in your line of sight here, but as a duo, they are so vulnerable, lacking a little bit on shields here too. He only had one shield bat. Look at that one shield cell here too from Easy Flash.
Shambles. Absolute shambles.
Shambolic town. Very difficult.
Shambhala? I don't know. I've got a family friend called Shambhala. Maybe that's the nickname we need to start giving people.
especially when you're working off the sticks out here too. Or Rain, like the movement here, just so that way he could get off of this lip, heal up. Also trying to gatekeep this team that's trying to exit out of Harvester. I believe this is KCP still inside the zone. It is. Kazak wants to be able to try to close in the distance here. Look at the aggression and the different angles that Aurora's taking.
Sliding down just to try and grab this last kill.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Nice wall jump. Not going to do much for you, but does buy a little bit of time for his teammates to get back in, and they're actually doing. They might be going for the. Oh no, I think one of them are they just knocked in the zone, or are they going for the split rat strat?
They had gone for the res, committed to the res, and they called out the straggler that was trying to run away from them. The poor Seer, obviously, what mobility, right? So he was trying to run for his life. Aurora followed up right behind them with the chase. Knows now that KCP is injured as a duo now, playing off of the thermal station side before rotating now from the south side of Harvester towards FaZe and Gaming Gladiators.
It's fascinating that they got the one member. They would have been able to hear the respawn happening, and they didn't go and chase those other 2 kills. I'm quite surprised about that from Aurora. I mean, maybe they were just looking for a spot in zone.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. I feel like their priority right now, knowing how many teams are in this zone, they want to be able to find a spot. And they actually take the gamble and took an evac tower to fly over everybody else in this lobby to then see if they could find space, maybe underneath the train tracks, where we usually see some teams try to coexist in a final tree zone, which, by the way, is pulling south all the way towards those southern buildings on the outskirts of Tree, where NIP, Cholos had already called out.
Yeah, look, don't rub it in too much, Vicky, but you were absolutely correct.
Very
we
rare.
are going south. Oh, don't even start with that. You've seen them all with the amount you play ranked. Anyway, it continues to pull south here, and with this, we'll see the next one. Okay. We get on Cholos and onto NIP as well. So it's on the southmost of those lower buildings in the Tree POI. And yeah, that means NIP, this is all on them.
It's also really scary playing off the low ground of that building, because we know that there's a lip of the hilltop that exits out of the truck that you have on the outskirts of the Tree buildings, that any spot on the high ground, because it's a free range here as Falcons forcibly climb their way up, get the first knock, make it 2, and looking for the last tracker. Look how they raid, the way that they just force their way up on the high ground, taking care of this team, gets another crack on a spot right in front of them. That's Crazy Raccoon. So they looked at Fennel, they're looking Crazy Raccoon, but Reject maybe coming up from right behind him or even low ground here. But how? He is looking in every direction, breaking his neck.
It's insane how quickly he's able to switch his focus from one team to another. Grab kills here, there, the Falcons combining to push their lead even further here. Twisted Minds do finally go out.
The fact that they looked at Reject, then they looked at Fennel, and then they still got the crack on Crazy Raccoon, who backed away, by the way, said, I don't want none of that business, and then still proceeded to hold their ground, are chasing after the solo that is Reject.
Yeah, it's something just about their confidence, right? Because I feel like if you see other teams in that situation, they look, they see another team, they're like, oh gosh, we better calm down, we better, you know, not get sandwiched in between other teams. Falcons have just such ridiculous, unshakable belief in themselves, and why wouldn't you when you're so far ahead of all the other teams right now that they see another team and they're like, hey, there's a KP over there, guys, let's go get it.
Look at the crowd. I love the side-by-side view. And it's what you mentioned, with a team holding first place with 89 points, the gap between themselves. Second place, Team Liquid, holding 66 points at the moment. Why not overextend right here as Makers get eliminated, 16 squads left. And currently, Team Falcons are forcing their way through Tree side, right on top of GHS.
Guild finally having to move out of their spot. Will they make it out alive? So many teams are sitting in and around them. Falcons look like they've made it underneath Tree. That's actually going to be a tough spot for them to play from. Oh. Especially when it gets revealed that this zone is going to swing all the way east towards, you know, NIP, Aurora.
Look at the way that they're playing off these different corners here. With LG safe inside the corner of this circle. They tried to send out some nades earlier, but there was a gen on the other side that now LG could take advantage of. FaZe get eliminated after they were booted out originally. Guild is going to be able to approach from right behind Luminosity, and Team Liquid, the team that we were highlighting before, Falcons, ends up surviving.
Hal has been on fire today. And once again, comes up exactly when they need him. Somehow, by the way, there's no one else around to finish off the single member of Team Falcons that is left alive. They will get a full reset. Ridiculous plot armor right here.
It's just the fact that the solo of Fennel looked, tried to see if maybe there was an opportunity, heard the res, didn't even try to take any shots at them. Just trying to survive to the best of their ability here as Guild really riding off of the momentum from the last game. The last solo of Fennel finally does get called out by LG, but eventually these teams on the outside of the circle have to funnel in. Red Rams are also inside this building, but so is NIP. Falcons coming around as we see that replay earlier on. This was the moment that they were looking at, what, 3 different teams all at the same time, one after the other. It was non-stop, but NIP have control over this building and a Kraber in hand.
Hal's up to 6 kills this game. He's taken the kill lead for the overall in this lobby, and Falcons have also breached 100 points here in match 7. They are very much on their way to grabbing those 9 advanced standing points going into Sunday.
That is huge. Also, the only team with full red Evos, by the way, 3-man Evos going into this next circle, even with LG now losing out on Funk. They have to start moving. Nasty with that huge Kraber shot, really changing the course to prevent them from trying to circle, keep them on the other side.
Ninjas in Pajamas, 13th place here. We've mentioned that they've got Godspot. They have to convert this to improve their chances. Top 9, remember, that's what the teams need here. Top 9 to make it into the finals.
How is Sweet still alive? That is insane. With a sliver of health after getting that Evo Shield swap, though, keeping them in the game. Look at the knocks here, too. But this is the high ground right here on this hilltop by the truck that I mentioned that provides so much advantage in a circle like this. Because these teams in the building, they were stuck there. Even if you try to move away, you were going to get caught in the line of sight of the squads exiting out a tree. And Luminosity. There you go. Peekaboo, I see you. NIP. Where are you running, Sweet? Only so much you could do. The last member taken out and Luminosity eliminated.
And that's so important because now NIP don't have to worry about anything else. It's just Falcons. They can focus on that. They can plan it around. They've got 17 seconds until the zone starts to close. They can work out what their next move is going to be because, as you mentioned, it's a tough one. They've got that high ground.
You know, Team Falcons have 111 points, by the way. Ninja in Pajamas have 30 points. It's just the perspective of the gap that we're seeing. Second place with Liquid have 73 points. And Falcons are looking to take a 3rd win under their belt. But NIP trying to cook up something here with the zip line on the other side.
I mean, the gen's going to work here. NIP, they've switched over to the Watson to try and play this more edge play style. Zone play style. It's working here. They got Godspot. They've been able to neutralize that Bang ult coming in towards them. Let's see if the other ultimates will allow them to get the win here. It's going to be tough. Falcons, 2 wins already in the 10 games total we've got here today. But look at that. Perfect vision. This means Hal can aim his nades even more accurately with the small amount of cover NIP have left.
Nail in the coffin. Stop. Stop. They're already dead. We have to see how they get out of this. Are they going to just fully send it to zipline? He's cutting them off from the zipline entrance too. Zero trying to get an off angle, willing to take the extra circle damage, so doesn't want to overextend, get called out, and Seer also providing the extra vision.
Look at this, I mean, a few cells left in the backpack. NIP have been bled dry. Can Falcons finish exsanguinating them here?
Look at the way that they're jumping on top of these rocks. King of the hill, Pride Walk. Welcome the Kings, Team Falcons. Take another game, 3 dubs in the books. What a dominating team. Look at Zero, no pop-up necessary here, just all smiles as Hal's like, we got another one. Jen, another day at work.
Playing it up to the crowd, who of course is very much in the Falcons' corner, Vicky.
Heard the chance.
As they talked about before, the headquarter is just around the corner. It's a home ground advantage, and Falcon have run amok with it. 16 kills here in match 7.
Remember how we highlighted all the time, like, obviously, right, that Storm Point was their biggest strength. Can we talk about the fact that over the course of half the season, They've changed everything. Look at the 16 kills, almost 6K damage. Are you kidding me?
Just check my head in disbelief.